please stand? We'll have a prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Commissioner Morgan.
Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, as we approach our day of Thanksgiving, we should always remember to give thanks to you with great gratitude for all the gifts that you have given us. And now we ask for more. We would ask that you would be with those who travel over this weekend particularly, that they may reach their destination safely, that those who are in need would find care for that need, all of which we would ask in the name of your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Cabell County Commission to order. And we'll move right on into our agenda. The first item is the approval of the November 26, 2019 regular commission agenda.
I move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made to approve. It has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
no. Motion carries. Next item is erroneous assessments, land consolidation, split tickets, probate documentation from the county clerk's probate office.
So move.
I second that.
Motion's been made. It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Purchase orders 295036 through 295246, pay jackets, monthly payments to Fifth Third for fuel card purchases, ACH draft for weekly claims experience administration costs, Highmark, handwritten check to Unum for $7,101.02, handwritten check to Guardian for $20,447.48.
How come we handwrite those checks? It says handwritten checks.
They're due different times than the normal bills are.
Thank you.
I moved.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Do we have anyone that's registered to speak that is not already on the agenda? I think you're on the agenda. Is there anyone who would like to speak that didn't sign up before we get started? Okay, we'll move right on then. The first item is a notice of hearing petition to close the estate of Larry Jean Salyers. Mr. Watson.
Yes, Xavier, do you want to come forward? This is the attorney for petitioner.
Yes, sir.
What has happened in this particular state is the really only asset that was involved was a piece of property which was sold under a foreclosure sale. And the claims against the estate, some of the claimants released their claim, a couple have not, but the estate is in fact insolvent, and the petitioner is seeking to have the estate closed and has no assets. Is that correct?
That's correct. I might add, since the filing of the petition, another one of the claims has been withdrawn, leaving 2 claims by Discover Bank. I did speak to attorney for Discover, and they indicated that they were not inclined to release them, so based upon the size of their claims and possible potential of future assets, which we don't expect.
So with that in mind, it would be my recommendation that we honor the petition and allow the estate to be closed.
Okay,
So move.
Second that.
motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you all.
He's up next again.
You're just busy today.
Going home after this.
You want?
Hard day's work. Next is a notice of hearing petition to close the estate of Gerald D. Taylor II. Mr. Watson.
And this is a similar situation, right?
This is a similar situation. In this case, though, we were not able to locate one of the creditors, as it had been 12 years, or a little over 12 years since the estate was open and claim filed. And we did submit a check. The claim was $52.50. We submitted a check to the Kentucky Treasurer's Office to the unclaimed funds in the claimant's name.
So they are again seeking to have the estate closed because they could not locate the claimant to get, to make payment to the bank. So it'd be my recommendation to also allow this estate to be closed.
I move that we close the estate.
Second?
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And I do like your fuel counter in Barboursville.
You've been there, good?
Oh, yeah, many times.
Oh, appreciate that.
All right, so he's okay, so.
Next, we have Judy Rule, who's the director of the Cabell County Library, who wants to discuss the Barboursville Library. Judy?
I have some handout goodies for you. Oh, I did okay. I didn't put these in a,
Thank you.
We'll take off 5 points. for
no, I gave her
presentation.
two. I gave her two. Yeah. Thank you. There you go. I
Okay.
figured a picture's worth 1,000 words, and so that's what we brought. First of all, though, I
Judy,
haven't
that's
been
never
here for
stopped you
long.
before. That's never stopped you before, a picture worth 1,000 words.
You get the picture plus the 1,000 words.
We're lucky today.
Thank you, thank you.
Let me tell you a couple things that the library's doing besides Barboursville. We're in the process this week of recarpeting the West Huntington Branch Library. It has been painted and it will be recarpeted, and it was long overdue for this improvement, these improvements to be made. I'm fully aware that the other two branches in Huntington, Guyandotte and Gallagher need recarpeted as well. They need some work, but there's just so much money, and so we're blowing our wad on West this time. So that's why we're doing West Huntington. We have lots of new programs coming up. We're going to be starting, one of the new things that we're doing is circulating hotspots. You know what a hotspot is. So all the branches have one to circulate. We've had one lost, but anyway, it's been replaced. So we're in good shape for hotspots that people can take home and use. I think that what I heard recently, a statistic was that only 60% of people who live in Cabell County have access to the internet at home. And so I think that this can be very helpful, especially if they have children in school and need additional help. All right. This is the rendering of the new Barboursville Library. And you can see there has been some controversy. I'll just be honest that there's been some controversy about the location, but the Village of Barboursville gave us the site, and we can't argue with free. So it will be a 2-story building. The current Barboursville Library is really small for the amount that it is used, and I gave you some statistics about how much the Barboursville Library is used. They have, their circulation probably is almost twice what any of the other branches are, so it is the heaviest used library. The current library has also water problems. It has always had water problems as long as I remember, and I remember a long time. But the roof leak, that's easy. The side leak next to the street, and we had that fixed, and we haven't had any more problems. Then the floor leaked, and that was the first one for me. But when the building was built, the drain from the roof went down the back and in a pipe right down the middle of the library to the storm sewer. Well, it broke underneath the library and clogged up. So the water when it came down from the roof, had nowhere to go but up through the floor. So we had that fixed. But the wall next to the parking area, is still, we still have water problems with that, and we've done everything we know to do to fix it, but it doesn't work. There is no much parking there, so we think that this will be twice the size of the current library. And I've given you, in your packet, some information about it. You'll come in the door here. The circulation desk will be over here. This is a public meeting room. The first floor is for adults. It will be a kitchen area. There will be restrooms. This door can be locked, and the meeting rooms used after hours. That has been very, very successful at both Salt Rock and Cox Landing, because the library is not open in the evenings when people would like to meet. So they will be able to use this meeting room and the kitchen and the restrooms after hours. This will be an outdoor reading room, and that's been very popular. Doesn't show it on here, but one of the staff has said, we want a tree in that meeting room, so it will probably have a dogwood or redwood tree, redbud tree in that meeting room. The local history room is here. It will serve not only as a local history room, but also for small meetings that would go on. The meeting room's pretty good size, so if somebody has a group of 10 people, they would be kind of lost in the meeting room, so they can use the local history room. And of course, the stack area, there are computers for adults to use. One of the additions that we've made to the library are 3 small study rooms. They will be able to be used by literacy. The Tri-State Literacy Council is, of course, located in the main library, and tutors go out to all of our branches. That's traditionally where they tutor their students, because it's a safe place. And these meeting rooms will give them opportunity to tutor the students without being overheard by other people that are there, and protect the privacy. On the second floor is the children's area. We have a large story hour room. One of the problems with the Barboursville Library right now is that their meeting room is used less than any of our other branches. But that's because, by outside groups. But that's because of all their story hours and their meetings have to be in that meeting room. So this will take away the use of the meeting room downstairs by children, and the regular story hours and the class visits and so forth. This is a media area, and I'm not quite sure what all will be in there, but it will develop as we go along, I'm sure. I'm not a techie, and I'm not up on all the newest things, but some of our staff is, and so they will lead us in the proper direction with that. Also, we have computers that are devoted for children. There are 30 places there. I'm not sure we will have 30 computers, but we will have substantially more than the 6 or 8 that we have now that have to be shared by adults and children. A lot of the children come in to take their AR test at the library, and that causes some conflict between the children and the adults in the current library. Again, this door can be closed and locked. It probably won't be able to be locked, but anyway, we're dealing with that. But anyway, it'll be able to be closed off, and this area, again, used after hours, should we so desire. There is an office up there for staff, and again, there are some private or small meeting rooms, but they will have glass walls, so that the ones downstairs will have glass walls as well, so we can observe what's going on. The last page in your packet is a site of the, and it will show the parking area. There'll be 20 parking spaces. The current lot has 24 parking spaces on it, but this will have about 20. Do you have any questions about that? One of the things that all of this is going to cost, the latest estimate was 5.2 million. We have about 2 million. We are in the process of meeting with people and doing fundraising, and I gave you a copy of the naming opportunities. The local history room has been taken. It will be named for however Marcia Moses wishes it to be named. Okay. And we are working on other opportunities for donations. The library was put out for bid week before last, so we will know, the bids are due in on the 12th of December. So we will know how much the building itself will cost after that time. We're hoping that the library board will accept the contract at its December meeting, which is on the 17th of December. The library board voted over a year ago to borrow money to complete this project so that we could get started, because prices have certainly gone up on construction and continue to do so. Besides that, we need to be out of the library for reasons that I won't say publicly. Hopefully will be able to borrow $2 million, maybe $3 million is what we need to do. However, according to our attorneys, the library can't borrow money. I don't know why the library can't borrow money. The law that's established the library said we can be sued and make contracts and whatever, but evidently we cannot borrow money without somebody selling bonds, and we don't have bonding authority. What we have asked the village, I had asked the village of Barbersville to underwrite the bonds so that we can borrow at least $2 million, but they have not given me an answer. I've asked about 3 times and I gave up on asking. So now I'm coming to you all to see if you would be willing to sell bonds as a loan to the library, and we will pay you back over what we were looking at was a 5-year period. We're hoping that we can proceed with the project. I will know more after the bids come in. You never know exactly. When I think about how much construction has gone up over my term here, it's unreal. When we work with the Guyandotte Library, which is about 5,000 square feet, it cost $300,000. When we built West Huntington, it cost $600,000. When we built Salt Rock, it was $1 million, and when we built Cox Landing, it was $1.2 million. So that shows over just a little bit of time, a blink of an eye maybe, that construction costs have gone up. And we're afraid if we don't go ahead and get started with this, we will have even more expense. I don't know what you need from us and from the bank. The Huntington Banks has offered to give us a loan and given us a reasonable amount of interest. We did ask several banks for a quote on that, but they gave us the best deal. But we need some, since they came back and said that we had to sell bonds, then we can't do that. So, that's what I'm here for. I don't need necessarily an answer today, but we will need it after the first of the year. We have money in our account. I don't know exactly, and will not know until the bids come in, because the bid documents ask the contractor to state when they will start. Since we're doing this in December and there could be bad weather, however, they have to start by March. So we don't need money for that, and ordinarily, you probably know this, but it's been my experience that the expenses for a construction project start off small and then go up once they get into it. So I don't look for us to need the money for a while, which gives us more time to raise money. But nevertheless, what we would like is if you would be willing to consider selling bonds for a loan for the new library in Barboursville. It will be the last, one other thing about the new library is that we're planning for it to be energy neutral. There will be solar. It's going to be the first geothermal library in West Virginia. And so we're looking for, we like those first in Capital County. But anyway, it will be a state-of-the-art library, and we're looking for it not to be terribly expensive to operate, with using the best and most efficient energy sources. Do you have any questions?
What's the additional cost for the geothermal construction?
The whole HVAC system is about $550,000. Now, that's not just the geothermal, but it's the entire HVAC system, and that's the information that Phoebe gave me on that. Then, in addition to that, there will be solar panels that will cost probably, the estimate was over $200,000, but she said that was probably high. So we're hoping that we can write a grant because there are various places that give grants for this, and we are looking into that. We were told by Appalachian Power last year that they had so many, please wait another time. So we're looking into going to Appalachian Power. Also, EBSCO, which is one of the library suppliers of magazines, and we have bought from them for years and years, give a $100,000 grant for solar every year. We tried for the main library because, you know, when it was built, if you will remember, when it was built, solar was planned for the new library. And the pedestals are on the roof for the solar panels, but it never came to be. So we thought we would like to add solar to the main library. We've written a grant twice for that, but a library up in the Eastern Panhandle, or two libraries in the Eastern Panhandle, got the grant. But I'm hoping that if we do it for the new library in Barboursville, we will get that $100,000. At least that's my plan.
Do you own the current property at the Barboursville Library sits on? The current library, do you own that?
We own that building and the property, and we will be selling it once we're ready to move out. And I have had talked with some people who are interested in purchasing it.
What's it appraised at, do you know?
We haven't had it appraised. When I talked to a realtor, they said that the best thing to do was to wait until we're really ready to sell it before you have an official appraisal done. And we're not to that point yet, so we have not had it raised. I'm hoping that we would get some 100,000 out of that building, yes.
This would be the largest branch of.
Yes, absolutely. All the other branches are about, well, Milton is larger, it's about 7,000 square feet,
How big would this be, square feet?
14.5. And all, the other branches, I think Cox Landing is 5,500, but they're all around 1,000 square feet. A lot of libraries in West Virginia have been built smaller than that, but it's against my religion, I suppose. I just don't think it, I've seen those small libraries. There's a library that's only 2,000 square feet. They have no meeting room, they have no, it's just too small. If we need a library in the location, then they need 5,000 square feet in my estimation. And since I get to call the shots, except for Charlie, who's president of the library board right now, and he will answer any questions that you might have for him as well. But, okay.
What about the school board? Since a lot of the children are in the school system and the schools will use that, have you talked to the school board to partner?
Well, we're partnering with the school board at the present time since they got rid of all their elementary school libraries. And we are, several of our libraries where they don't have proper volunteers are visiting the public schools and checking out books and helping with the school libraries. And Ryan said that he would pay us for that, except that I have to come up with a figure, and I haven't done that as yet, because I haven't gotten support from all of the branches where they're going. I know that Milton goes to Culloden Elementary, West goes to Central City Elementary, Guyandotte goes to Altizer and Guyandotte Elementaries. So we are working with whatever schools that need us to help them to keep a school library open. I have not approached the Board of Education to ask them for building money. We are working, if you all have any influence at the state level. A couple of years ago, the last year Kelly was there, we did, the legislature did pass a library improvement fund, and it established the fund. It did not fund the fund, and so now we're asking for $10 million to be put into that fund. It's a one-time thing, non-reoccurring, $10 million to be put into that fund to start the fund. And I would hope that if we can get the money into the fund, then I will work toward getting some of that money to Barboursville.
You know how to do that,
Yeah,
that's for sure. You've done a great job over the years getting money for the library.
well, we try, but we really need I think we're gonna have to borrow money, and I know Charlie has said, I really don't wanna borrow money. I don't really wanna borrow money. I take the verse in the Bible that says, "Oh, no man anything," literally, and I don't like to borrow money, but I think we've got to get this library built, and so if that's what it takes, then we'll do it.
Just for
Charlie.
clarification, I'm Charlie Bagley, and the reason I don't want to borrow money is because she's going to retire after Barboursville is built, and I don't want her to retire, so.
There's a method to your madness. Well, thank you so much, Judy. It's, of course, something we'd have to talk to our attorneys about, and But we
And the
can-
attorneys know far more about borrowing money than I do.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well, for us to issue bonds, you're gonna have to have attorneys prepare all the documentation and so forth. I don't know if Charlie's firm does that, but I know Steptoe and Johnson has done a lot of the bond issues with our commission, and it's not inexpensive.
No, I
For
know that.
what they actually have to charge, because it has to be loan agreements, and has to be purchase agreements, and deeds of trust, and all that sort of thing. And it takes, under the state code, there's a methodology that they have to follow on timing and so forth, and putting forth notices, and then, so, you know, they would need, if you got a bank that's willing to buy the bonds,
Okay. And
that-
that's what I understand Huntington banks will do.
okay, and that means you'll make the payments to the bank, and if it's a 5-year deal,
Yeah.
that's a lot shorter than what they normally are.
Right,
But those are the processes that we'll have to go through.
right.
So you need to maybe talk to Fred Williams about that, see what they say.
Okay. I understood that the Huntington banks, when we were talking earlier, talked to Dinsmore, was their lawyers.
That's,
But
I mean, that's fine. It's
Dennis
whoever-
Taylor is our lawyer, is the library's lawyer, although we have a couple of lawyers on our board. But Dennis Taylor has been involved with that, and went with me to meet with the village council at Barbersville, but they took no action, and we're still, so, what do I need to do?
Well, I think you need to have your counsel from Dinsmore, if they're not in a position to do the legal work for the issuance of, have you talked to the city? Because the city can issue bonds as well.
Well, I didn't ask the city of Huntington, because this is being built into the city of Barbersville.
But they still have bonding authority.
Yes,
I
they
mean,
do.
And so, I mean, that's a possibility, but at
That's
any
a
rate,
possibility.
your counsel at Dinsmore should, if Dinsmore and Shoal doesn't do that kind of work, and we've never had them present a bonding issue before, then you would have to go, I would recommend Steptoe and Johnson, who does them all the time, and got one pending right now before us, which will close on December the 23rd. So they know exactly what to do.
Okay.
And you can explain your needs, once you find out how much you need to borrow, and then go from there.
Okay. We will know better after the bids come in, the first of next month, how much we're going to need to borrow.
Okay.
But I wanted to give you all a heads up, that we may be asking this of you, since the village of Barbersville really hasn't, or they haven't said no, but they didn't say yes either. So we were just stuck.
Understand?
We appreciate you coming and telling us all about the new library, and we'll see what we can work out or what transpires from here.
Thank you very much. I
Uh-huh.
appreciate it. We appreciate all your support, and we try our very best to spend the money that you give us as well and as efficiently and as cautiously as we can. My mother lived with me for 30 years, and she was raised during the Depression, and I learned several good lessons during that time.
I'll bet.
So,
Thank you so much, Judy, we appreciate
And
it.
you know, Judy, that money comes, although it's tax money, it comes out of the commission share of the taxes. It doesn't come from the first level, it comes out of
that's
our
why
pocket.
we appreciate it so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Moving on, we have next the appointment of Steve Hogsett to the Cabell County Airport Authority.
I would move that we do, but Kelly may want to ask a question or delay it.
No, I talked to him and had a nice conversation. He's a pilot out of Tri-State Airport mostly, and he's an accountant and graduated from Marshall. And had a nice conversation. I think that he would be a good fit from what I can gather. And he's very supportive of the Marshall University aviation program that they're trying to get started up and running. So I have a good knowledge, I think, of being able to support him. So I would move that we approve his appointment.
Second?
Okay, the motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is the delinquent list of sales, suspension, and redemption of 2018 delinquent real estate taxes from the sheriff's office.
So move.
Motion's been made,
Second.
has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
no. Motion carries. Next item is donation of a vehicle to animal control from the sheriff. It's a Ford Expedition 2010 model. I understand it still has some life in it, but it's not in very good shape.
I move to approve.
Second?
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next is a Justice Assistant Grant, which is one of our JAG grants for $25,000. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, I mean, this has been awarded, we just need to
Yeah.
sign the papers.
Sounds good.
So move.
Second that.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Now we're down to the money part. A resolution for state budget revision number 5.
This is a state revision to move monies that were grant reimbursements and federal grant monies into the prosecuting attorney's line for the VOCA and VAWA grants.
Okay?
So move.
Second that.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Next item is a resolution, Campbell County Commission, County Budget Revision number 3.
And this is a county revision that we're actually doing in the courthouse line item. Moving it out of capital outlay into supplies and, department supplies and auto supplies.
So move.
Motion's been made,
Oh, second.
it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. We need to place on record minutes to be recorded, Pea Ridge PSD regular meeting, September 9th, 2019. Cabell Huntington Health Department regular board meeting, September 25th, 2019. Documents to be recorded, Cabell Huntington Board of Health report, October 2019. Cabell Huntington Health Department annual report, fiscal year 2019. July 1, 2018, and June 30th, 2019. West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources Office of Environmental Health Services Infectious Medical Waste Program, application for permit, Valley Health Systems. Pea Ridge PSD Field Report and Manager's Report, August 2019. Pea Ridge PSD General Ledger Balance Sheet and Income Statement, period 3, year ending 2020.
So move.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Commissioners' representation reports. Do we have any today?
I have a question. Is our next meeting going to be the,
December 12th.
huh?
December
Okay,
12th.
then the one after that, is it gonna be the day before or the day after Christmas?
It's the day after.
That's the day after.
Be
The
26th.
26th.
Mhm.
Business as usual.
Yes.
Got it.
Unless you all say.
I have a question for Beth. Have we had any receipt of what Mon County had received on the refugee settlement?
No,
Emma,
she already
has that
answered
been-
that in the listserv.
So we haven't had-
I mean, since then. I think her answer was a few days ago.
Yeah.
Good and welfare, Cabell County? Hearing none, we will sign the necessary paperwork, and the meeting will then be adjourned. Thank you all so much for coming.